There we go, got my mic unmuted. Maybe I won't sneeze directly on the mic. Alright, got my scene switcher started. You can see my editor. Special guest star this week is going to be this Amazon EC2 box I just set up last night. Nice thing about it is I was complaining up a storm last time about how my laptop is too slow to run builds and run the stream at the same time. You can shuffle all the music ever. So, one of the things I'm going to try doing is do all my builds up on Amazon EC2 and use the results on my local machine. Cool. Looks like that box is still up. And that's still working. Cool. So, what I got working here, I got a tmux session on my remote Amazon EC2 box. It is running all my Webpack stuff. I got a security group on it, so it only listens to my home IP. So please don't try to hack my Amazon dev box. But the other thing I've got is this handy little utility. If I still have it open, is that it? Yeah. Got this thing, SFTP Net Drive 2017. Haven't used it before today, but what it lets me do is mount some directories on that remote dev box as a local drive letter over SSH. And the nice thing about that is I can use my local browser, I can use my local editor. So all the hard work gets done out on Amazon, but I can still do editing and I can try out the software locally. So we're going to give that a try. So that's kind of cool, and the builds are dramatically faster. I think they're like 10 to 20 times faster on this Amazon box than trying to get this poor laptop to do it. Like just for example, let me save this file that I haven't edited, but that should kick off a build. And when I switch back to the shell, you should be able to see it. I don't think it already finished, did it? Let's try this. I'm just going to touch a file directly from here. No. Yeah, there it goes. Actually, yeah, it's very fast. Already did the build, ran tests, ran lint, did everything. That was taking like a full 30 seconds on my laptop on Wednesday. And you can't see it because my big head is hiding it, but I've got a task manager CPU gauge in the corner that shows me actually not capping out my CPU, which is nice. So, this stream, I'm going to try running with that. Wow, this guy's singing out of tune. I'm going to try the next song. Alright. So I guess first thing I might try doing is I see there's a couple lint errors, just as I'm kind of warming up to the stream. Let me try fixing those first. If I could type, that'd be great. So there it goes. Linting errors all fixed. That's a nice thing about ESLint, is it will often fix quite a few of your formatting errors for you, so you don't have to track them down. It can't do things like undefined variables and things like that, so it leaves the hard work to you. This song's pretty sweet. I basically got everything on full shuffle right now, looking for songs to add to my favorites, so in the future I'll just like shuffle through the cool songs. Alright, so we got a good clean build. Now I can do the other thing that's cool about this SFTP drive is I can go to my Dev Edition browser and go to About Debugging. Let's remove that for now. You can see the theme goes back to normal. I can navigate to my U drive, if it'll let me. Yeah, I can navigate to a U drive, which is my Ubuntu box up in Amazon. Navigate through to the development directory, get to Firefox Color, onto the build directory, the extension, and I can temporarily load this add-on. It's going to take a few seconds because it's coming in over the network. But the last time I tried it, it did actually work. There it goes. And you should be able to see, opens up a tab to the site, it changes the theme around, and I think we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, so the nice thing about this is all, like the Webpack dev server and the add-on builder all in the cloud now. And of course the cloud means someone else's computer. And that someone else's computer is Amazon. For backup, I've got a backup plan where if I needed to check it directly on that host, like say, because I did have an issue at one point, it was not loading the add-on on my local machine. So my backup is that I've actually got a remote desktop connection happening. And I've got Firefox installed and X Windows installed and all that running up in the cloud. So it's kind of laggy. It's not a very great frame rate, but I do have an Ubuntu session going on up there. So if I wanted to, I can actually test Firefox up there in Ubuntu, and you can kind of see the add-on working. Very sluggish, but it works. The machine itself is not sluggish. It's just, however, I have this XRDP server running. It's not the greatest, but it works. But I can kind of keep this in my back pocket. Hey Drew, thanks for the host. Alright, so I can keep this remote desktop in my back pocket in case I need to test something on there. But for now, it looks like my local browser is able to load the site and the code, and it works a little faster. I smell like Ebola. Oh, that's nice. Thanks. This song's a little repetitive. As this did. There you go. I know who you are, to get out. So next thing, I guess I can figure out what I actually want to start working on. I got a little to-do list up in the corner. I guess I can actually say the first one's already done. I've started using an Amazon box for builds. I guess I can start trying to work on adding a button to clear the individual builds, or to clear the individual backgrounds. And my music is stuttering, and that is not happy making. You know, for now, I'm going to close the remote desktop just because I don't happen to need it right now. Maybe it's this song. I don't know what's going on with it. Alrighty. That's pretty cool. Okay, so first thing I want to try to tackle. Currently, each of these multiple backgrounds has... I don't want to view that browser. I want to view this browser. Everything's still a little sluggish on my machine. Alright, here we go. So each of these custom background images, it's got its own control. Last time I streamed, I added these alignment and repeat selectors. The other thing that will show up, actually no, one thing I'm going to do real quick, just because it bothers me. Yeah, this is what we should do. I really shouldn't show these alignment controls until there's actually an image to align. So let's just move them down here. And what I'm going to do here is there are 3 controls that are going to show up when an image actually gets uploaded. Let's see, how fast is our build going? Pretty quick. Nice, it noticed the file changes, it built everything, and now by the time I get back to it, my browser should already be reloading. Awesome, this is the way it should be working. It was not working this way at all on Wednesday, so that's cool. And now we just got these 3 background image controllers. There's no background image in any of them yet, so these extra controls don't show. So now I'm going to pick a background image. You know what actually I'm going to do? Let's move this off stage. I keep rummaging through my images, trying to find some good images to use. Why don't I just make a set of background images I can pick from so I don't have to keep rummaging. I'm kind of doing this off stage here because I don't feel like wandering through all my meme images on stream. Maybe someday. Gotta keep some mystery, I guess. Yeah, so what do we want to put in there? Let's put that one. See, the problem is I need to find some good images to use as backgrounds, because one of the new features that I'm adding here is you can layer them. So I have lots of big images, but none that are kind of like small enough to put side by side. I'm kind of trying to find some smaller ones that I can stick into this folder. And they're not going to be great images, but they'll be images so we can at least play with some things. Sounds like this song just kind of petered out. I call this theme images. No, let's not do that. Also, come on, let's give us the next music. Alright, so I got a small folder of images now. I think they're various sizes. Let's see how they look when I try to use them as backgrounds. So I know this one works pretty well as a background image. It's kind of, it doesn't take up the full width of the window. So yeah, so you can see that. Now see, here is one of the first things I need to fix, is I added multiple background images to the data store. But what I did not add, oh, it looks like my music player crashed. What I did not add is any concept of them each having a true-false flag as to whether they have an image or not. It's like there's one flag for all images. So I'm going to separate that into 3. But first, let's restart the music player, which is another project that I'm kind of tinkering with. It's somebody else's project on GitHub, but it's a really cool-looking chiptune and mod player that I've managed to get to compile and customized it a little bit for my own stream uses. Really cool. It can access something like 350,000 different mods and chiptunes online. Cool to just kind of leave it in shuffle, and it looks kind of neat in the corner. All right, back to this. I picked one image. Let's pick another image. I don't know. Let's pick my head. You can't see it because it's under, but I can say right top, and there's my forehead. Well, you can see my forehead. That's a lovely thing. Let's tile my forehead. There we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put that one down here. So one of the features I want to add today, if I can get to it, is to be able to like kind of drag and drop or click a button to reorder these background images. That's another image. Let's pick something that's not my head. I need to find better images. These are all cruddy. There we go. So that one tiles, but let's not tile it. Let's say, let's not repeat that. Let's put it the center top. Did it break? Don't break on me. There we go. I think some of these things might need a little bit of work. So there we go. We got 3 images. One here on the left, one here in the middle, and then one that is my forehead repeated on the right. I assume actual users using this will come up with better background images to use. I'm curious why that broke when I tried to sort it the first time. Oh, I see. I picked none. None is not actually a valid value for the theme data, so actually let me fix that real quick too. Back to my editor. Yeah, looks like I've got the value as none. And what that should really be... there is a default. I want to say the default alignment is actually left top. But maybe I'm going to try empty string. Let's see what empty string gives me. Oh, the music is really struggling. Oh, that's because I haven't bumped up the priority. Come on, chip machine, you can do it. There, maybe that makes the music a little more stable. Yeah, 2 things I found I've had to do, and part of the reason I've moved the project build stuff into Amazon AWS is this machine seems really not as beefy as I thought it would be in terms of CPU, so I really have to be careful with what I have running all at once. So it's nice to throw this stuff up at Amazon. Just kind of borrow another CPU. Alright, so let's make this an empty string. Let's try that. The build is already happening. Yes, oh, there it goes. It's pretty quick. It does take a second or so for the SFTP drive mapping to upload the stuff, but then Ubuntu up there, the Webpack server detects it. And then by the time I'm done kind of jabbering, it's already reloaded, or it's in the process of reloading. It's not responding at the moment, so there we go. I might have gotten a little over-enthusiastic with setting the high priority on my music and my streaming. There we go. Yes, I want to set this custom theme. That sets the themes. It wiped out all my images, but I can throw those back in there real quick. What did I do? I did this one. It'd be nice to possibly to be able to like shift click some images. What did I break? I think the page might have reloaded again. This music might like you. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I was kind of looking out for some music that might be safe to play on the stream. Kind of figure mid-90s Amiga mods and mid-80s Commodore 64 music is some of the safer choices. Alright, so we got some background images in there. It appears that my alignment is not causing an error. Just to be sure. Looks like, yeah. I've seen this unhandled promise rejection error. I still don't know where it's coming from, but I don't think it's interfering with this. Alright, so I uploaded an image. I want to say center top. That should move it. There it goes. I'm going to pick my face again so I can make my shiny forehead repeat. There we go. So I know images in this theme are working. Of course, the other stuff still works. Like I can change the toolbar color and things like that. Yeah, there it goes. I don't have too many UI tests with this stuff, so I don't always catch when a change I make might break something. But I know that the background images are working, so the next thing I'm going to do, right now if I hit any one of these clear background buttons, all the images go away. I want this clear background because we used to have just one background image in there. So I want to change it so that each button is independent and only clears that particular background. So if I click the middle one, they're all going to go away. And they all went away. It's okay. Just kind of iterative development, adding one thing at a time. Now back to the React component here that powers those selectors. Here's the upload thing, and there, or actually here's the clear button. And you can see there's just one Redux action here, and it clears all backgrounds. So I'm in charge of implementing... No, I'm not in charge of anything. So my day job, I do work for Mozilla. I'm on the test pilot team, and we kind of make experimental features that could appear in upcoming Firefox versions. If you're interested, you can swing on by, if I can type. If you like Firefox and you want to see some of the stuff we're working on and give some feedback, you can go to testpilot.firefox.com. I don't want to play with that right now. And we started off doing things just for Firefox. Now we're doing things for Firefox, and also we just recently released a couple new mobile experiments. So like Firefox Lockbox is pretty cool. You can use that to get access to your saved passwords and things on an iOS device. So if you use the saved password manager in Firefox, this will let you get to it. Some of our other experiments we're working on, Notes. That's a neat little notepad in your sidebar. And we also just added an Android app so you can get to your notes from your phone or tablet. Color, this is what I'm working on right now. This is I'm trying to come up with a theme editor that's a little more friendly for Firefox. Side view, this is cool. You can have two web pages side by side. We're trying to play with that. It's a little bit like editor splits. Not as flexible, but we're still playing through it. Send is cool. It's like a little private, not file sharing exactly, more like file sending. You can upload a file, send someone the link to it. Not as flexible as a Dropbox, so it's mainly just for like you want to send a file to a small group of people who have the link, and the files automatically they're encrypted before they leave your hard drive. So we hold on to an encrypted bunch of bits, but we can't actually see what's in the file. So we don't like spy on what you're uploading or anything. So that's kind of an interesting experiment. So yeah, so that's Test Pilot, and this is what I'm working on. It's just kind of a theme editor. And the task today is to try to add some better management of these background images. Hi, Viper ML. I'd say I recommend Firefox because I work for Mozilla, so my opinion is totally biased. Chrome is awesome too, though. The interesting thing about these themes, we actually based the APIs, the new APIs for themes in Firefox on some Chrome APIs for themes. So we're actually like, we were looking to be compatible with some early Chrome themes, but we're adding to this. I think it's pretty cool. One of the things about Firefox Color right now is it's only got, I don't know, maybe 8 different properties you can edit right now, plus these images. At this point, the theme API offers something like 28 different theme properties. So we're trying to look into how to revise this user interface to accommodate the like new full set, because that involves like everything. It involves like Things like the color of lines between tabs. It involves the color of the new tab page. So we're looking at revising this from its like current super simple form into something that lets you have a lot more flexibility. So I think that's pretty cool. We're hoping that's going to be a fun feature for a lot of folks. Like right now, one of the key features of Firefox Color is if it doesn't include these images and it's just colors, you can actually share this theme with someone via URL. So the theme only actually works in Firefox, but you can send someone who's using Chrome the preview. And of course, since we'd like to encourage people to use Firefox, this preview also includes an invitation to download Firefox. So you can't apply this theme to Chrome, but you can show someone a preview, and then if they download Firefox, they can actually apply the theme. And who knows, someday we might find a way to make these themes compatible with Chrome also. But hey, Slayer Darth. Thanks, I think Mozilla is pretty awesome. I actually just celebrated my 10th anniversary working for Mozilla back in May. So I'm kind of fond of the place. I worked on MDN for a little bit too. We kind of rebuilt that site from scratch at one point a couple years ago, and I was on the team during that time. There's a really awesome team on MDN. A lot of dedicated writers, making sure those pages are all have the most up-to-date information and are formatted for easy reading, all that stuff. So that was a fun team to work on and support. So alright, let's start. What is this? Alright, I'm gonna start playing with this clear background button. Well, that's a pretty badass baseline. Okay, so one of the problems with this clear background button is the backend data store in Redux currently doesn't support clearing individual backgrounds. Yeah, it is kind of a shame that Firefox OS didn't really take off. There's some reasons for that. I hope I didn't just freeze up my editor. This is my first time trying this SFTP thing, so I might be breaking a few things. Yeah, Firefox OS kind of had some trouble. It was a great team working on it, a lot of great engineering effort, really tough market because iOS and Android are already really good. So I think it was not the worst idea in the world to kind of back off from that. I know one of the things that we're kind of doing these days, and I might actually get involved in it a bit, is doing more apps under the Firefox family on iOS and Android. Let's play with the store. But yeah, I actually had a Firefox OS phone in my pocket for most of a year or so and used it as my main phone. Yeah, I think my my slow bottleneck now is trying to get files back and forth with this SFTP thing. What's our next song? Hello, editor, what are you doing? It says it's still connected, but it's taken an awful long time to do anything. Yeah, that is a big trouble. Like iOS and Android are very deeply entrenched, and they're both good operating systems, so it's kind of hard to shake them. I know if Microsoft can't do it, I think Mozilla really had their work cut out for them. We had some cool stuff going on, but it just wasn't quite enough to pull people over. kind of like where we're going now, though. We're kind of, I think we're going to look to try to find our place within those ecosystems and see what apps we can launch that are actually valuable to people. Like, I think Lockbox will be pretty cool. Lockbox gives you an app that you can get to your Firefox passwords and history and stuff with. Which is kind of like, instead of asking someone to change their entire phone over, you can just install a small piece of the Firefox ecosystem. Come on, buddy, you can do it. This thing was going so much faster earlier today. You know, actually, the other thing I could do, I almost hate to do this, but I can also, one of the reasons I like Vim, I know I've got Vim installed graphically here at home, but I've also got it running on my remote machine. So the nice thing is I can use Vim on my desktop here, or I can SSH into this box that I'm doing the builds on. I can edit stuff up there too if I want to. It's not quite as pretty, but that's just because I don't think I've done the work to set up the theme as well. I don't know, I'll probably give up trying to work this way in a second. Oh, that bell doesn't belong there. Yeah, I've been a masochistic Vim user for close to 20 years. I need to explore Vim plugins some more. I've used pretty much the same set for years now. Kind of got set in my ways. I need to explore it every now and then. Every now and then I'll try a new editor, like I'll try Atom or VS Code. And they're cool, but, and maybe it's because I have a weak laptop, they end up being really resource hungry. Meanwhile, Vim is usually like pretty snappy and fast. Oh, nice, Slayer Darth. You wrote your first Vim plugin. I'm going to have to check that out. That's pretty cool. I will give that a look later. Man, I don't know if it's because of the streaming or what, but earlier this this drive share stuff was going so much faster. Now it kind of seems to be freezing up at every moment. So that's ironic. I moved everything into the cloud so it would build faster, but now the editing is going way slower. Well, those definitely are weird vocal voices. Alright. At least I managed to load it. The nice thing is once the file is loaded, it's faster. Though of course I picked the wrong file. You know, I haven't used Thunderbird in a long time. I should get back to trying it someday. I kind of just gave up and I use Gmail from the web now. Okay, that load was a little bit faster. So, alright. So what I was trying to get to. Clear custom background. So one of the things I'm using here in my Redux store is the Redux Actions module, which kind of has confused some folks I've talked to sometimes, because it's a neat little library that kind of handles some of the boilerplate for you when it comes to building a Redux store and reducers and actions. Yeah, Thunderbird I think kind of keeps going back and forth. There was a period when it wasn't really, well, it didn't get, it had a small crew still working on it, but Mozilla, to kind of double and triple and quadruple down on Firefox itself, pulled away a bit from funding Thunderbird development. I think that was around the same time that we kind of backed away from Firefox OS. We were kind of trying to circle the wagons and get our resources focused on what might be more effective. And it's kind of sad because a lot of people just don't use email clients anymore like they used to. Like everyone uses webmail. It's still really, I think it's still a really good program to have around though. Why am I not logged into GitHub? Oh yeah, because I'm using the wrong browser. I've got a bunch of Firefox instances open because in doing this Firefox Color stuff, I screw around with add-ons a lot. You don't need to see my email, which I was just talking about. Let's get that out of here. Nothing incriminating in there anyways, I don't think. So yeah, I use this Redux utilities, Redux actions. It's nice because it kind of gives you some utilities for building up actions and reducers really fast. So one of the things it lets you do is if you've got actions that all they do is dispatch the exact parameter that they're sent, you can just list them by name. And that's what I do here for a lot of these. So one of them, and the real logic happens down here in the reducers. So my clear custom background reducer, I would like to turn it. Yeah, see, all clear custom backgrounds does is set custom backgrounds to an empty list. What I want to change it to do is either change it or add a new one. To say, clear an individual custom background. And so, to kind of make it orthogonal to set custom background takes an index. So what I'm going to start with here, and actually what I should do, let's start from tests. I have just a few tests for the store. There we go. It's a little sluggish. I'm trying to wonder why. Maybe I should give it some more priority. And when do we do that? I don't often mess around with the process priority in Windows, but it seems like this music player and the streaming software really like to chew up as much CPU as possible, so that could be the problem. Alright, so what I think I want to do here is add a test. It should support clearing custom background by index. Alright, so in order to test that this works, I should first set up some test data. That doesn't go there. That goes here. This looks pretty cool. I'll try adding it to my favorites. Yeah, there we go. So, thanks to the before each I've got here, when each test runs, it starts with an empty theme store. So what I'm gonna do down here, I might play a little copy pasta. Let's grab one of these backgrounds. I only need to set one. Yeah. My tests end up being messy code sometimes because I don't spend as much time refactoring and making sure they're as dry as the code it's testing, but that is not a bad thing to do, to make sure your tests don't have repeated code. Yeah, let's stay on that. So, okay, so I set a custom background. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. One of the things we want to do is to offer at least 3 background images, so I'll just do 2 for now. So we're gonna set 2 background images. And we're gonna assert some things. So we set 2 backgrounds. I'm gonna assert that it's got a length of 2. And this isn't really necessary, I'm just kind of doodling in the test right now. I mean, this is code I've already tested, so it should work. But now here comes the special thing, or the special sauce for this bit. I want to say, let's clear one of those custom backgrounds. And you know what, I'm going to do it out of order, because I want to make sure that works. I'm going to say the background should now have a length of 1, but the first item of the array should now be what used to be the second background. Oh yeah, and we don't need this bit. And then I'm going to delete the other one. So what I'm kind of asserting here is that when I clear a background, it deletes it from the list, and the list shrinks to fill the gaps, so it doesn't just null them out. What am I using for unit tests? So what I'm using for unit tests right now is Mocha for running them. I use Chai for the assertions, Sinon for mocking things out. I keep meaning to play with Jest. I have not used Jest yet. Actually, this is the wrong browser. Let's do this again. There's another component to this, and I'm trying to remember what it is I use. But yeah, so the basic test structure is the basic test runner, and the test structure comes from Mocha. And so that gives you the basic describe, it, before each, all that fun stuff. So that's, and then they actually like assert that data matches expected values. I use Chai, and in particular I use the expect style. And then I don't think any of these tests show it yet, but I also use Sinon to do spies, stubs, mocks. And that's a I think a fairly common stack in Node stuff. Someday I'll probably play with Jest. But a lot of projects I've worked on use this pattern. Let's see. Okay, so this test should fail because I have not updated the store. QUnit. I think I've used QUnit before. Not recently. Looks familiar. Oh, because it's for jQuery stuff. It's been a little while since I touched jQuery stuff. Since we've been kind of Redux and React Madness lately. Yeah, I've used QUnit. That's a neat framework. So yeah, it does a lot of the same things where you can organize your tests into suites, and it has an assertion framework. I don't know what this music is. I'm gonna jump to the next song. I like the dog barks though. Alright, so I saved my test. It looks like it's saved. Yeah, it's funny because what jQuery replaced was bad. And jQuery kind of showed that you could do things a better way. And then people use jQuery. And the problem I found with jQuery is it gave you a lot of tools, but it didn't give you great... it didn't kind of push you into a good way to organize things. And now that we have React, that's a totally different way of structuring everything. We start getting into more like functional programming stuff. Alright, you don't like that I did trailing spaces. Yeah, you just go ahead and fix those. But backgrounds is not defined. Oh, I know why that is. It's because I didn't define the variable. You know, that's a common variable. I'm just going to move it up here. Yeah, I mean, when jQuery first came out, we didn't really have much in the way of build tools, or we didn't even really have modules. Almost all of it was just go ahead and throw script tags at the top of the page, and jQuery will be one of them. And shortly thereafter, someone came up with the first concatenator. I think jQuery is still appropriate for some small sites, though. It's kind of overkill to throw React at some things. I think that's our problem we have now in the industry, is kind of throwing all the hip tools at small problems. Not everybody has to scale like a Google or a Facebook. But it's also the kind of thing that's painful to switch away from later if you find you do have to grow your project. So... Alright, what do we got left? We got the trailing spaces issues. Can you just fix my stuff? Oh, that's right. I saved over the changes. Never mind. Let's try that again. So I saved that. Now let's fix the spaces. Now let's reload our file. One of the things that this SFTP thing has... Ooh, did you just delete my file, you bugger? The SFTP thing has been missing things. Oh, I think I just lost my file. That does not make me a happy camper. Oh, the file is there. Okay. You know what, I'm being superstitious. It's my first time playing with this stupid thing. Whoa, what just happened? I think I accidentally hit a... Yeah, there we go. I think I accidentally hit the that key. Let's do this real quick. It's my first time trying this remote SFTP file mounting thing. And I'm worried it's going to lose some of my edits. Why didn't you reload that file? Read errors. You are not making me happy. Oh, you have to support IE 10 and 11. Yeah, that's kind of a tough row to hoe these days. Yeah, what you really need to do is learn is get involved with Babel and I forget what it's called. I think it's Babel, the Babel Env plugin. You can tell it what browsers in particular you want to support, and it'll do all the necessary transpilation for those. Oh, thanks for the follow, T-Desk. Let's try this thing again. Connecting, it's connected, it's doing things with data. Yeah, Babel preset env. I think that's actually what I use on this project. Oh really? Oh, that sucks. Okay, this song is entirely too cheery. Will you load this file faster now? Will you load this file at all? Oh. Yeah, that can be a problem if you end up with conflicting versions of node modules and conflicting versions of Babel and who builds what and when. Okay, this looks better. Okay, so our tests are failing. Lint passed, but tests are failing, and failed tests are what I expected. So, let's make the test pass. So the first thing I want, let's expand this. I want to receive a payload on this Redux action. So, and that payload should include an index. And what that means is when I send clear custom background, it will clear just one and not the whole thing. Now I don't know how to do some nice little kind of functional destructuring syntax for deleting one item from an element, or one element from a list. So we're going to expand this out to a full function. Here's what I'm going to do. Very similar, copy pasta from up here. And I believe what I want to use is splice. And I always forget the syntax for splice. And I misspell everything. Let's bring that in. I'm pretty sure it's like you give it the index where you want to start, you give it a number of elements you want to remove, and it changes the array in place. All of this in-place changing really kind of cramps our style when we're doing immutable changes or immutable state changes in Redux. So okay, yeah, month splice, blah, 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 blah. The syntax is start, delete, count, and then you can insert elements at that point, but that's not what I'm doing. I could use a library for this. There are libraries like immutable.js, and that would take the place of all this ... rest notation I'm doing everywhere. But I don't feel like importing immutable.js into my project right now. So I'm going to wrestle with this again. So I got to copy the custom backgrounds. And what I'm going to do, custom background splice. At the index I've been given, I'm going to delete one, and I think that's all I need. Okay. Let's see if it passes the test. Rebuilt the site. Failed my test. Why did it fail my test? What are you doing? Yeah, the other thing I could do, since I'm just working on tests right now, how about I stop building everything. I'm just going to run tests. I'm not going to run all of Webpack. I'm going to run just tests. And when this test passes and the store is doing everything I want it to be doing, then I'll start the whole site build up again. Alright, it looks like I just crossed over into having streamed for an hour. I'm probably going to go for 20 or 30 more minutes, and then I gotta go do something about dinner. Trying to find a good schedule for this. What I'd like to do is maybe 3 times a week, 2 hours each time, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. I haven't managed to do it yet, so maybe that's not the best time. Huh. That's interesting. But let's see what happens when I, what is the contents of this? Apparently, Splice is not doing what I want it to be doing. What you doing to me here? Did I... You know what, it helps to insert the right test data. Instead of background 0, it should be background 0, background 1. Try again. I really need like a muting foot pedal or something. Alright, so it broke again, but it did indeed delete an item, it just deleted the wrong item. Or my test is wrong. This confuses me. So whenever I use Splice, is it 0 based or 1 based? It's gotta be 0 based, isn't it? With the origin 0, yeah, okay, so... Well, let's have it vomit out some more information. So what I'm trying to do is insert 2 backgrounds and delete the second. And I think I might just be confused about Splice. Might also be confused about what else I'm feeding it. This song's pretty cool. Let's flag that as a favorite. You know, I don't even think oh, the Bob Newhart thing. I gotta play with that some more. That's a neat little... Actually, I think I have that hosted somewhere right now. Yeah. Nightbot not letting me post links. Anyway, I'd load that up on my phone. It makes a nice little single button soundboard. That's kind of fun. Keep meaning to put together some kind of soundboard for when I'm streaming. Just for doing weird crap. Alright, so... no... That's bizarre. So I gave Splice an index of 1 and a delete count of 1, and it appears to have deleted the second one. Yeah, one of the things I might do on stream, right now I'm doing Mozilla work, so basically like day job work, but I'm going to do some kind of tinkering around at night streams too, and some of them are going to be meta streams where I think I might work on some streaming tools, like I'm going to build my own chatbot, build a few other things. Last weekend I was working on the music player, so that stuff is kind of fun, gives me more stuff to do and more stuff to stream. Just trying to, I'm trying to get into doing some code streams just to kind of get my head off my desk, because I'm pretty notorious for going kind of down Periscope and silent running for days at a time while I'm working on things and no one hears from me. That might be nice to like talk a little more about what I do. Now, why is this doing this? I don't understand this. So I thought splice would delete. No, I'm gonna do a little spelunking in a web console. So you gotta be, you're kidding me. Why does it work this way? When in doubt, if I forget what something in JavaScript does, I'll open up a node REPL, or I'll just open up the web console and I can say, like, okay, here's an array. Got 5 elements. I want to delete the middle one. That's 0, 1, 2. Right? Yeah. So I want to delete 3. So what if I say 2, delete count of 1. That should give me an array. It gives me 3, and now A should have been changed in place to be missing 3. Okay, so no, I understand how splice works. Why does my splice here apparently seem to be deleting the wrong thing? Let's look at that test output again, I guess. Blah, blah, blah. Let's use the file change. And let's scroll back. This is what's confusing me. What the F? So, in my logging output, before I do the splice, I take this array, give it an index of 1, with a delete count of 1, and it appears to delete the second one. That's weird. Let's try this. What did you end up deleting? Tell me what's up. There we go. So I got before, I have to, yeah, what the, wait. No, what, oh. Yeah. It's doing the correct thing. I am just misunderstanding what I wanted it to do. I spent 20 minutes looking at the wrong thing. Okay. I want it to delete the first one to pass my test. I feel dumb. This should be... Come on, give me my editor back. That was stupid. I understood splice, I was just handing it the wrong index. Now, where do you have trouble? 190. Oh, I know what's happening. The other test is failing because now I have changed the definition of clear custom backgrounds. Yeah, so it does now expect a payload. Well, if you build a soundboard, let me know about it. Maybe I'll use it. Maybe I can convince watchers of my stream to build the build tools for me. You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. It would be nice if this had a default. Let's try that. Well, actually, but the other thing... There's problems with this approach. Okay, well, I don't care. I don't want to support that use case anyway, so... This is what I want to do. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I don't want to delete... In this test, I don't want to delete just one. Let's add... Frank Sinatra soundboard. That should be fun. Let's do one that's to clear all backgrounds. And this is going to be basically what our old version used to do, which actually I wish I'd saved. Let's do this. There we go. Let's just recopy this. Let's revive what I just deleted and just make it a renamed action. Oh, yucky. Oh no. Playing around with tmux and there's different ways of changing this stuff. There we go, let's do that. I need to get back to London. I've only been to London twice ever. Yeah, let's do this. I suppose I could have just rewritten all this code, but I wanted to be fancy and try to copy it from my git diff. Another nice thing about some of this is I can just make messy, terribly indented code, and then I can use Prettier to tidy it all up. There you go, Prettier. Thanks for making me look good. So now we got one action, if I can type correctly, that will clear all custom backgrounds, and there's one that'll clear them just one at a time. Alright, so now we can clear a custom background by index, or we can clear all custom backgrounds, which just resets it to an empty list. And now over here, got the code, I can update my tests. One of the weird things about Redux actions is it does the thing where the action name is this camel case stuff, but it reformats it into a snake, or the snake case names, and the utility reformats them into camel case functions, which seems like a weird Redux tradition, but we can roll with it. There we go. This should pass tests, I hope. Unless I've done something drastically bad. Ah, all tests passed. Cool. So now I can yank out the log statements. Yeah, I want to say we have a Mozilla office in London, but when I was in London for Mozilla All Hands, I didn't actually go to the office. I have no idea what song these samples in this song are from. Alright, so all the pests passed. Yeah, all the tests passed. The tests are pests. So I think I can go back to integrating this into the app itself. So my store is doing what I want it to do. Now I can say, okay, well, let's go back to building the entire site. And for that, I have this longish command that's in my command history. There we go. What? Nice. Mario remix. Yeah, so one of the things I do with the NPM scripts that build this project is I can customize it with environment variables. And so in this particular case, I give it the node environment so it enables my debugging stuff. I give it a site ID, which distinguishes the add-on from... So the add-on is built with the site it's intended to work with hard-coded. So I give it a different ID so I don't mix up that ID with one from a different site. And then the host is just the name of the EC2 box that I have everything running on. So let's start that build back up. And I'm going to... My tests are fine. I'm going to swap these windows. I'm going to go back to the background picker. I got a cat meowing at me. Where'd you go? There you are. Yeah, it's going to take a little while to load because apparently this is slow now. Come on, load up my component. You can do it. Someday I'll have this stuff worked out. Oh, hey, here comes a cat. Hi, kitty. I need to get a dedicated cat cam. I'm just going to see cattail for a while. But my component loaded, so let's go. Alright, so one of the things it was doing is it clears all backgrounds when the clear background button is clicked. I want it to clear individual backgrounds. Oh yeah, somewhere else I have to do this thing. Because of the weird way I've built things, whenever I add a thing to the store, I have to thread it all the way up from the bottom of the app in props. And I've done it enough now to where it's starting to annoy me, and I may restructure the app to just send triple dot props everywhere. And you'll see what I mean in just a second as I make the changes I think I need to make. Hi kitty, you need to be fed. Yeah, it's closing in on dinner time, isn't it? Alright, so one of the things I do here... Don't growl at him. So these are all actions coming up from the Redux store. I kind of pre-make some dispatchable functions out of them that I pass in through props. And of course, clear custom background is one. So now I need to add, actually I really need to rename this one to clear all custom backgrounds. And then what I want to do Bring in some args, clear custom background. And one of the things I do here when I'm constructing these is I actually add a little bit of metadata to them because these particular actions are coming from user edits as opposed to other sources, and that ends up being important to other parts of the system which decide whether or not to update an undo, redo stack based on whether it was a user edit or not. Okay, so I think I added my new Redux actions here. Yes. And those get passed in a humongous list. Down here. This annoys me. I should fix this, but I'm not going to fix it right now. I don't know who's going to use this right now in my software. Okay, so I added it to the app component, I added it to the theme builder component. Now the theme builder component is connected to the leg bone. Now the theme builder component is connected to the theme custom background picker, so now I have to work with theme builder to add this. Hi, kitty. Got another cat sitting in front of me off camera, and that cat was not very happy that the boy cat showed up. Loading, 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 loading. Yeah, this is super ironic. My build is super fast now, but my file editing has slowed down. I'll play with that some more over the weekend and see if I can't sort that out. Where did I put clear? There it is. Clear. Clear all custom backgrounds. This song's pretty cool. Not a lot to it, but pretty cool. What do we got? We're still saving. You're annoying. What are you doing? Still running. Okay. Alright, let's get back to it. Clear custom background. Clear custom, clear all custom backgrounds. And finally, it's gone from app to theme builder to theme custom background picker, and now and it occurred to me I'm not actually going to use that action right now. So, okay, that was semi-wasted effort. But okay, so now what I want to do, clear custom background. That's coming in here. This thing has an index. So now after all of that, I can say index. All those gymnastics just to do that, I guess. All right, we're gonna save it. We're gonna watch for the build. The build, I think, actually already finished, at least once. There it goes, there's the build again. Build runs tests, build. So this build process is doing quite a lot. Every time I save a file, well, every time I save most files, there's a little bit of granularity to it, but when I save files, it rebuilds the website, it rebuilds the add-on, and since I've been talking, it probably reloaded the website in the background. So that's nice. Okay, so let's try some background images. Just to kind of manually test what I did. So that loaded an image. I'm gonna load another image. Let's stick that. Oh no, what just happened? Let's try that all again. I think the page just reloaded. Sometimes my Webpack build is overzealous when it comes to automatically reloading the page, which can be annoying. if I'm in the middle of actually, like, you know, manipulating some things to test out the code I just did. The other thing I wondered, did I hit any errors? Not really. Oh, I did hit an error. Oh. I see nasty things happening in the error console. Cooperate, you two. Ref 18 payload is undefined. That could be it. That's happening somewhere that I don't like. That could be an old code, though. Yeah, I'm changing that. Okay. I think I may have already changed that. I might have already fixed that problem. It's okay, so my head is in there now. Let's not pick another image right yet. Let's stick that right top. My head is still there, that's cool. What happens if we clear this background? If I clear that background, I get the error. Okay, that's unfortunate. So I broke something, it looks like. Yeah, go ahead and apply that theme. So we reloaded. Let's try an image again. I really should build some automated tests for this UI, but I have not. Okay. Looks like maybe the page just didn't reload. Let's try that again. I'm gonna pick a background. I'm gonna pick my shiny forehead. This picture I took like, I don't know, 5 years ago. I'm gonna stick you over on the right top. I'm gonna repeat you across the top. I don't know why. Okay. I'm gonna add one more. Let's add our barbecue image. We're gonna stick you at the right top. And now it should happen. You can't see the barbecue image because it's beneath the middle one. If I delete the middle one... Alright, it worked. So the bottom one shifted up. Now the one thing that's kind of weird about this, you don't see the file names changing because those are just a part of the file upload thingy. Which maybe I shouldn't be showing. Well, there's some UI stuff to play with. So I think I have successfully completed to-do number 2. Let's see, can I clear just that one background? Yes, I can. Okay, so I am gonna call that to-do done. On to the next. Oops, did I break anything? No, I didn't break it. Just didn't save it. And any second now, there we go, my little display. Thing is though, it's been an hour and a half. This might be a good stopping point, and I can reconvene over the weekend or on Monday. I think this went a little more smoothly than the last one. I think my next big task on this stream, I'm going to be, like, my next big meta task is going to be to find a schedule that I can do reliably and actually kind of promote and tell people about. I've been thinking 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. A few folks seem to show up when I just kind of hop on unannounced at that time, so maybe they'll be alright. I don't know, I might shift the time around a little bit. The other thing I was thinking of doing is Sunday nights at around, I don't know, 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, my time. I might try like a more general tinkering stream. Because I've also got a few cameras in my basement at my workbench where I can do some electronics work. I think there's a video or two in my VODs here on Twitch that show me kind of screwing around with the soldering iron. I might try to do some more of that. And I may just end up popping on sometime, like Saturday night, to play around with some more streaming tools. And the main event on my stream is hopefully going to be, I can just kind of hop on and do some day job work. Both to kind of like get my head up from my desk and to demonstrate what kind of stuff I do for work. Of course, to answer questions. Yeah, you know what, I think I'm going to leave it here and not get into this next task, because this reordering backgrounds is probably going to take me another like half hour, 45 minutes, and the cats are going to start to eat me alive for dinner. So, alright, thanks for everybody stopping by. Hopefully I'll be doing this some more. And thanks for the subscribes. Hope you all have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.